Hello, everyone. I'm Carmen Noguera. The topic I will present is entitled Challenges of Putting Web Archives in a Comprehensive Context, the case of Luxembourg. This challenge emerged from my current PhD thesis on digital cultures under development in Luxembourg from the 90s to 2014. I'm studying the history of the internet and the web in the country using web archives both as a source and as an object of study. As a part of my PhD, I'm analyzing the role played by the communes and the cities in the domestication of the internet and the web in Luxembourg in the early years, and how they contributed to the adoption of the internet by the citizens. In the Luxembourg program, launched in the country in January 2001, inserted into the umbrella of Europe, the Minister of Communications already recognized the role of the local authorities as privileged interlocutors of citizens to break the digital divide by creating meeting places to enable access and introduce continuous learning on new technologies. The Luxembourg Action Plan launched a specific project for the communes, building bridges across the internet gap. It consisted of building telecenters for the commune citizens to access the internet and get training in IT. In order to promote the internet and the web, the state recognized that the administration played a central role and should set an example. So we analyzed the representation of the communes in the web sphere. Which were the first communes to have a website? What were the main objectives? How could the citizens engage with their commune through their website? We cannot forget that these were the early years of the internet. So knowing when each commune had a website and the content displayed is quite challenging. We use various sources to build our corpus and identify the first players. For example, we use the domain names registration list from 1992 to 1999, provided by Restena, the National Registry of the .lu domain, to identify the first communes registering their domain name. In addition, we also use the Wayback Machine to get access to archived web repositories, such as the ones created by Restena or the first national search tools, such as LuxPoint and LuxWeb. And magazines as an explorator, which created a print directory of websites first published in 1997. Taking as a sample the year 1998, we obtained these results. Which conclusions can we draw from them? First of all, it is essential to put all these sources in context, taking into consideration the inherent characteristics of web archives to intertwine them. We can see that some communes and cities are included in all directories, such as Differdange. However, some others are included in one directory and not in the others. And on many occasions, going into the links one by one, we can see that they don't have an individual website. Instead, they are part of another site that contains several. When was the first website from Luxembourgville launched, and what was the first URL? We saw from the directories that Vdl.lu was not the first URL. Two URLs were used at the time, luxembourgcity.lu and luxembourgville.lu, both of them registered in 1996 in Restena. We can find versions of these URLs in the Wayback Machine since 1996, linking to the same website with tourist information. According to our oral interviews, the website of the commune per se was launched on 15 March 1999. This matches with the results from the Wayback Machine, the first registry we found, which included information from the commune, was from 22nd of April 1999. Vdl.lu was registered in Restena in 1998, And the first versions that we had from the Wayback Machine started on 22nd February 2001. If we have lacked the context, we would have assumed that the website was created in 2001. This underscores the importance of having contextual information and the ability to conduct various types of searches, including by URL and by keyword, to determine if there are additional URLs beyond the one we are familiar with. I will now outline the challenges encountered during the diachronic analysis of the website Vdl.lu and discuss how various web archives contribute to forming a comprehensive picture of the web of the past, along with the specific challenge that they present. Our analysis utilized the Internet Archive, Archivo.pt, and the National Library of Luxembourg Web Archives. Our initial objective was to compare versions of the website across different web archives to discern similarities and differences, enabling us to reconstruct its historical evolution into a comprehensive manner. For instance, the earliest archive version of Vdl.lu in Archivo.pt dates back to 2008. By examining the same date, 30 October 2008, across both Internet Archive and Archivo.pt, we observed discrepancies in the displayed homepage. Notably, certain elements were misaligned in the Wayback Machine's version compared to that of Archivo.pt, as we can see here. Continuing our exploration of the homepage's appearance, we move forward to 2009. As we didn't find matching dates, we examined May 12, 2009 in the Internet Archive and September 12, 2009 in Archivo.pt. In this case, we discovered identical displays, offering insight into its visual representation. Reflecting on this process, I'd like to emphasize 3 key points from the research: the importance of conducting a diachronic analysis of a website with the maximum snapshots possible to recreate its evolution, the importance of using web archives to have a more comprehensive picture of how the web looked in the past, and the necessity of considering the depth of the crawls to be able to analyze the contents of the website. Further delving into our analysis, we could see that the second-level navigation was rarely archived in Archivo.pt. Hence, the possibility of doing a deeper analysis of the e-citizen and e-government initiatives was more limited. Now we will go to 2016 to see the evolution of the web page using the Luxembourg Web Archives from BNL and Internet Archive. And we go to the exact date and time, 9 September 2016, and see that almost everything looks the same, except for the banner on the right, which is a dynamic banner. When analyzing the content, and more specifically the procedures that the citizens can do online through the website, we could see that the depth of the crawls was deeper in the Internet Archive. Looking at the forms section, we saw that the landing page with all the forms was archived, as we can see on the right. However, when clicking them, the web pages of the forms were not displayed in the Luxembourg Web Archive. Most of them went to a 500 status code. In order to compare the 3 archives, we chose a date saved by the 3 of them, 16 July 2018. The versions are very similar. We can see that Internet Archive is the most complete version. In the case of Luxembourg Web Archive, the top banner and some pictures on the right were not displayed. And in the case of Archivo.pt, an image from a section was not included in the homepage. In our exploration of online administrative procedures accessible to citizens, we specifically delve into the BIF section. We ask, can we identify the digital services available to citizens through the analysis of archived web content? In general, we found that, although not exhaustive, we could gain insights that could be complemented with the live web, newspapers, oral interviews. On the selected date, 16 July 2018, we observed that nearly all administrative records forms were preserved in both Luxembourg Web Archive and Internet Archive. In the last one, even the initial page containing links to order certificates online was archived. However, as this entails user interaction, only the first step was captured. In order to be able to put all these versions in context, evaluate, and analyze, it will be interesting to have standard metadata. To date, the archives include the calendar with the different archive versions. When clicking, we get access to each of them. The three also include the total number of times the website has been saved, although Luxembourg Web Archive and Archivo.pt go further and include a summary of the monthly captures. Moreover, the information of the date and the capture and the time is kept in both web archives at the top of the page. With Internet Archive, once on the page, the time disappears. Then, as the most relevant elements in my case, in Internet Archive, we got information about the crawls per year, month, and a summary of media types for the whole collection and per year, among others. Going to the metadata offered by capture, we found very different information depending on the web archive. From Internet Archive, we have information about the collection crawl. For example, the one of 16 July belongs to the BNL 2018 summer domain crawl, and is explained as domain crawl of the Luxembourg web domain performed by Internet Archive on behalf of the National Library of Luxembourg. We also have information about the timestamps indicating the exact date and time each web page element was archived. Also, as in other web archives and the live web, we can see the source code. Archivo.pt has very descriptive metadata of each version, including the link to extracted text, which helps to do a specific research on the content length, the direct link to metadata, and the collection name with a link to get more information about its context. For example, the collection here is described as a block of frequent collections of the Portuguese web, mainly websites of news media, websites with frequent renewal of contents, and governments and public bodies from July to September 2018, and included information on the starting and ending dates of the collections and the total files and seats. In the Luxembourg Web Archive, they are now in the process of including more metadata, but we have a good overview of the context of their collections. Firstly, thanks to the detailed information that they include in their website, but also thanks to the proximity of the library and the fact that I've been working very closely with the web archivist. For example, we work together in a book chapter. That, in conclusion, we can highlight the importance of contextualization when using web archives based on the different objectives for our study. In my case, to study the origins of the government and its citizen strategies in the country and to reply to specific research questions, it's crucial, firstly, to contextualize web archives with other sources, such as oral interviews, government documents, press articles. Secondly, having some context about the depth of the crawls to know what we can ask to the content. And for the discoverability of websites, I would like to highlight the importance of the archival of early directories and having as much information as possible about the context and metadata of each directory to analyze and intertwine the results. And to do the diachronic analysis of a website, we can't forget that web archives are big data repositories, but also they are small data that provide us with the political, cultural, social, and economic information. In this context, we must highlight the importance of metadata, dates, timestamps, information about the crawls, how they operate, media types, etc., to help analyze our archive. We also need to understand the context of the collection where our website belongs. why the website has been selected, the main objectives, and the technical and resource constraints. Thank you.
That's all.